Hello friends, I am Professor Shraddha Sheke from KK Wagh Institute of Engineering, Nasik. In this video, we are going to discuss about communication systems. Learning outcomes of these videos are what is communication and barriers in the communication, block diagram of the communication system, modes of the signal transmission, what is the communication media and types of the communication media, that is wired and wireless communication media, difference between wired and wireless communication media, and electromagnetic spectrum. What is basically a communication? Communication is nothing but sharing or exchange of the information or the ideas or the thought, etc. As shown in the image, you can think that thought can be anything and sharing of the information can be in the form of any medium. Barriers in the communication. What can be the barriers in the communication? So barriers can be distance, or it can be medium or the language, or it can be the environment. These are some barriers or problems in the communications that may present. Let us talk about the block diagram of communication system. A general communication system, first block is the input signal or the information which you want to transmit from one person to other person or from one place to the other. The input signal is given to the input transducer. Basically, input transducer is a device which will convert a non-electrical signal into the electrical signal. That is given to the transmitter block. So transmitter block will perform some processing on that signal. Maybe if required, it will amplify the signal, it will reduce the noise. If required, it will go for the modulation and so on. What is modulation and all that we will discuss in the next video. Then the transmitter, the signal which is given to the channel. Again, there can be the two types, wired or wireless. Channel is nothing but the medium to transmit the signal from one place to the other place. There is possibility of introduction of the noise into the message while it is traveling through the channel. Basically, noise is an unwanted electrical disturbance. After the passing through the signal through the channel, it is given to the receiver. The task of the receiver is to receive the signal, process it accordingly. Then if we have done modulation while transmitting, then at the end while in the receiver you have to demodulate the signal. Output of the receiver is given to the output transducer. Again same as that of the input transducer. Input transducer converts the input signal into electrical form. On the other hand, output transducer will convert the electrical signal into the non-electrical form, and here you will get the original signal or the information. So this is a general block diagram of the communication system. Modes of signal transmission. What are the modes of signal transmission? So basically, the modes of the transmission defines the direction of the signal flow between two devices. So if there are two devices and you want to transmit a signal, the modes is nothing but the direction how this signal is getting transmitted. So there are three types of modes: simplex, half duplex and full duplex. Let us discuss about each and every one of the modes of transmission. Simplex, as shown in the first diagram, direction of the communication is from A to B, right, from one device to other device or from one person to the other person. This is called as simplex. We can say the transmission is unidirectional. Device can either send signal or it can receive the signal. Only you will observe the A is only the sending, he will always keep on sending, and B is the person who will always receiving. What are the examples? Newspaper, television, then your radio FM signal, right? Observe the TV broadcasting antenna, in which transmitter is always transmitting and the TV antennas present at home of every person is always receiving. Then one more signal is the remote TV, remote control of the TV. The task of the remote control is only to transmit, task of the TV is to only the receive. Then keyboard to PC, this is also the simplex mode, right? The task of the keyboard is to only transmit the signal and CPU is only the receive. So this is a simplex mode in which only one direction is of the communication is possible. Next is a half duplex mode. In this communication, the direction of the communication is both way, or you can say bidirectional. A can transmit or receive and B can also transmit and receive. But if you observe carefully the arrow between A and B, there are two different arrows, right? So both devices can send or receive the signal, but at a time a device can either send or it signal, or it can either receive the signal. Amateur radio or ham radio, for example, or citizens band radio, or web browsing, or the very simple example is walkie talkie, which we know a person can transmit as well as receive, but at a time. So this is nothing but the half duplex mode. Full duplex mode, here both direction of the communication is there. This communication can exist between A and B, and you will observe there is only one bidirectional arrow, right? So both devices can send or receive the signal. Devices can send or receive the signal simultaneously. That means a person A can it can send the message to B, at the same time it can receive the message from the B. Observe the first image, that is the full duplex telephone communication, then data over the Ethernet, and the cellular communication, that is the mobile phone. So this is nothing but the full duplex mode. Now let us discuss about what is the communication media. Communication media is nothing but the way of communicating one device to the other, you can say. It is a wired or the guided media, or wireless or the unguided media. So basically guided media means wired communication. So there are three types: twisted pair cable, coaxial cable, and optical fiber cable. And wireless or the unguided media is a radio wave, infrared, or the microwave. So these are two types of the communication media, wired or wireless. Let us talk about the twisted pair cable. As the diagram shows, you will observe the two cables are there covering with the protected plastic cover, and they are twisted, right? Two wires are twisted together in form of the helix to reduce the interference between the two conductors, right? So types are UTP and STP, unshielded twisted pair. UTP means unshielded twisted pair, and STP is shielded twisted pair. So there is a metal shield which is provided after the twisting. You will observe the shown in the second image. Data rates up to the several Mbps is common. Communication distance, what is the distance up to which it is used? It is used up to the several kilometers. What are the advantages of the twisted pair cable? It is very easy to install, and it is a low cost device or low cost wire. Drawbacks are noise immunity is very poor and data rate is less. But what are the applications of twisted pair cable? Twisted pair cables are used in LAN, local area network, and the fast Ethernet and telephone lines. These are some applications of the twisted pair cable. Next is a coaxial cable. As shown in the diagram, there is two conductors. One is the inner conductor then there is a insulation of, and again there is the one more conductor, right? So coaxial cable, but one conductor is present inside the other. Two coaxial conductors, outer conductors acts as a shield for noise. We will observe the shield is there. It is acting as a outer conductor is acting as a shield for the noise. Typical bandwidth is of 300 megahertz. So its bandwidth is more as compared to the twisted pair cable. Data rate of about 150 Mbps. It supports the 150 Mbps data rates. Operates at a distance up to 100 kilometers. That means it is useful for the large distance. What are the advantages? Good noise immunity and the low losses. It is easy to install. Drawbacks: data rates are less than optical fibers. See, this data rate is greater than coaxial cable, but this is less than the optical fibers. Where it is used? Coaxial cables are used in the cable TV. Then it is also used in telephone networks and CRO probes. Next is about the optical fiber. What is a optical fiber? It consists of the three concentric sections: core, cladding and jacket. As shown in the first diagram, there are three concentric sections. Innermost is the core. After that there is a cladding and there is a jacket, or you can say cable sheet is there. The core material is usually made up of the ultra pure fused silica or the glass, and the cladding is either made up of the glass or the plastic. The cladding is surrounded by the jacket made of the plastic. The cladding is there that is surrounded by the jacket which is made of the plastic. The jacket is used to protect from the against the moisture and the abrasion crushing and the other environmental hazards. The core has a refractive index of N1 and the cladding has a refractive index of N2, and we have to make sure that N1 is greater than N2. That means the inner core should have more refractive index than the cladding, and this is the main important condition in the optical fiber. How this will work? Basically, the information is carried in the form of light ray. But how that light ray will move? Light ray will move and it will follow the principle of TIR, that is total internal reflection. Total internal reflection means whenever light ray incident at a particular angle, and it will reflect internally and it will move in a zigzag manner as shown by the red color line in the first diagram. This is how the information is transmitted in the optical fiber. So what is the important part about the optical fiber is that it is a concentric, there are the concentric sections. The N1, that is the refractive index of core, is more than that of the cladding, and it will work on the principle of total internal reflection. That means light ray will move in a zigzag manner. What are the advantages? Excellent noise immunity, very high data rates, it supports a very high data rates, and no EM interference. No EM interference because obviously the signal is transmitting in the form of light ray. What are the applications? It is the backbone of 3G and 4G, high speed LAN, intercontinental networks. So these are the some applications of the optical fiber cable. Up till now we have discussed about the wired and wireless communication, and now let us compare this. So first, what is the wired communication? and wireless communication based on the first parameter about the medium. So wire communication is a physical wire is a medium which is used to transmit the signal from one place to the other place. Examples are twisted pair cable, coaxial cable, optical fiber. In wireless, air is used as a medium. What is the medium? Air. Signal is transmitted through the air, but how? In the form of radio waves or microwaves or infrared. Installation. It is difficult and requires more time. Wireless communication installation is very easy and it requires less time. Distance covered is less in wired communication, but it is more in wireless communication. Areas covered, it is difficult in hilly and forest area, and wireless communication is very easily covers hilly and forest area, as there are the big towers only, tall towers will be there. Mobility is limited in wired communication, but it is high in wireless communication. Environmental interference, obviously in wired communication it is less, but in wireless communication interference is very high, because as you know, there will be the towers and signal will be transmitted in the form of radio waves, microwaves and infrared through the air. So there is high environmental interference in wireless communication. Speed and bandwidth, it is more in wired communication, but it is less in wireless communication. Security is good in wired communication, weak security in wireless communication. Easily data can be catch and can be stolen. So that is the one disadvantage of wireless communication. And reliability is very high in wired communication, but it is low in wireless communication. So these was some comparison between wired and wireless communication that we have discussed up till now. Next topic is the electromagnetic spectrum. Basically in wireless communication, as we have discussed in previous slide, air is the transmitting medium. Signal can be transmitted in the form of electromagnetic waves, right? So basically what is electromagnetic spectrum? It is a signal made up of the oscillating electric and magnetic fields. So EM spectrum or the EM wave is basically a wave which consists of E field, that is electric field, as well as magnetic field, M field. And as we know, if we consider three axes x, y, z, then E field vector, magnetic field vector are perpendicular to each other. If E field vector is in x direction, magnetic field vector is in y direction, then we can say in z direction is wave is propagating. So E field vector, M field vector and propagation of the wave are perpendicular to each other, that is x, y and z direction. The entire range of the frequencies that the EM wave can produce oscillations is termed as the electromagnetic spectrum. The range of frequencies, the entire range of frequencies is called as the EM spectrum. For the classification purpose, EM spectrum is divided into the small segments, and each segment is given some nomenclature. Each range is identified by end of frequencies or wavelengths that differ by a factor of 10. Observe here, pictorial representation of the RF band is given 3 kHz to 30 kHz. This frequency, then 30 kHz to 300 kHz. This frequency band is called as low frequency band, and the first 3 kilo to 30 kilo is called as VLF, that is very low frequency band. Below that there is 10 kilometer, which is a wavelength. As you know, lambda is equals to C by F. C is 3 into 10 raised to 8 and frequency is 3 kilohertz. So we can write that 3 into 10 raised to 8 divided by 3 into 10 raised to 3k. Sorry, 3k means 3 into 10 raised to 3. So 3 into 10 raised to 5 and 3 into 10 raised to 3, we will get 100 kilometer. So below the line, which is a lambda, that is wavelength, and above the line is the frequency, and the formula for converting the frequency into the wave is lambda c by f. Lambda is equals to c by f. If we observe the third band, that is 300 kilohertz to 3 megahertz, this is called as medium frequency band. 3 megahertz to 30 megahertz is the high frequency band, and so on up to 300 gigahertz. VHF is a very high frequency, UHF is a ultra high frequency, SHF is a super high frequency, and EHF is a extremely high frequency. In the next slide, we will talk about each and every one of these frequency bands and their applications in detail. In this image, frequency range is given first, then the wavelength is given. You know how to convert the frequency into the wavelength, that is lambda is equal to c by f. There is an EM spectrum nomenclature given and typical applications. Talk about the first band, that is ELF, extremely low frequencies from 30 to 300 Hz, used in the power line communications. Next is a VF, is a voice frequency, is from 10 raised to 6 to 10 raised to 5 meter is the wavelength, and its frequency range is 0.3 to 3 kilohertz. Face to face speech communication, intercom. Very low frequency 3 to 30k, submarine communication. These are the application areas. Low frequencies are used in the marine communication. Medium frequencies 0.3 to 3 megahertz is used in AM broadcasting. High frequencies are used in landline telephone. Very high frequency is used in FM broadcasting TV or the TV. Ultra high frequencies are used in TV or the cellular telephony. Super high frequency are used for the microwave oven or the radar. Extremely high frequencies is used in the satellite communication radar. Then some band of the frequency is kept reserved for the experimental purpose and some explorations. IR, infrared, is from 43 to 430 terahertz, which is LED, laser, TV remote. Then there is a visible light from the range 430 to 750 terahertz, and which is used for the optical communication. After that, ultraviolet range is there, 750 to 3000 terahertz for the medical applications, and later on more than 3000 terahertz, X-rays, gamma rays, cosmic rays, which are used in medical applications. So this is about the EM spectrum. So in this PPT we have discussed about what is the communication, its block diagram, then three types: simplex, half duplex and full duplex. After that, wired and wireless communication. There twisted pair cable, coaxial cable and fiber optic cable. And then we have talked about comparison between wired and wireless communication, and then EM spectrum. Thank you.